What is up, jabronis? JJ back here with Snyder Mangone. Mangone's clearly a little chilly tonight. Got the ears covered up. You kind of love to see it. You kind of don't. Um, Either way, how was last week for you guys? Mangone, I'll start with you. Interesting tournament to say the least. How did it make out for you?
Yeah, it's 7 degrees, and I forgot it is snowing outside. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be hunkered down the rest of the night. I'm not sure. But JJ, one thing last week. So yeah, I didn't hit my outright bet on Bobby McIntyre, but you said you didn't know who that guy was, and he got a nice little T15. So just wanted to start the show off by saying, Dunkel, I can pick these low guys down there, and I'm gonna keep doing that. You guys always make fun of me for taking some 50 to ones or 60 to ones. We're going for some 100 to ones these days. So it's going to hit at one point, but Bobby Mack got the job done for me in DFS, and I just had a couple guys miss the cut. That was the only issue. But other than that, I'm excited for this week. Got to get some of Snyder's takes because I don't know. It's a tough week, and I think that embracing some variance is a good idea because we got a lot of water here, and Gary Waterland is here as well, Dunkel, so I know you're excited about that.
That's disgusting. So Snyder, will kick it right to you. Last week, what'd you think of the event? Now, that event was much more top heavy with talent. This one looks a little more watered down, no pun intended to you, Mangone, at least than last week. But Snyder, how'd you do last week? And then I guess maybe go into this course this week.
Yeah, last week was all right for me. It seems like I keep getting the second place guy. I think that's 3 events in a row. One of my outrights has finished second. Morikawa tried to make it there. He had a strong push Sunday. It was good to see. I feel like I was really close on all my player pool. I feel like I was really close, but I didn't have any Neiman, and that really kind of held me back. So it wasn't the greatest DFS week. But getting into this week, we're definitely going to see a weaker type field. Like last week, we had the top 10 players in the rankings, and this week I think we might have like 2 or 3. Brooks and Berger, I think, are only the top 2 guys in the top 10, possibly. I don't know if Berger's in the top 10 anymore. He was, and he might have fell out of there. I'm not for sure. But we're heading back to Florida here. It's going to be an easier start time compared to what we were on California. So it's going to – I like the earlier start time better. We're here at PGA National. It's a par 70 measure and 7,125 yards. It ranks in the top 5 as the toughest courses on tour, as guys will see. So I think that's a reason why we don't see that many of the better players come here, because they don't want to come here and kind of get humbled by some of this. We're going to see water on 15 of the 18 holes. There's 2 stretches here on this course. The Bear Trap is what holes 15 through 17 are called. It's one of the toughest stretches on tour, 3-hole stretch-wise, and then holes 5 through 7 actually play just as hard as that 15 through 17, but doesn't get the notoriety and recognition that the Bear Trap does. But, I mean, both of those stretches play very tough. There's going to be only 2 holes on this hole that are going to see greater than 20% birdie percentage, and that's both the par 5s. So you really need to score on these 2 par 5s. Some stats I'll be looking at here. Strokes gained approach, par 4 scoring, total driving, bogey avoidance, and opportunities gained here.
Love it. Thanks for going through that. And so this is the Honda Classic, PGA National Resort and Spa. Snyder, I'll stay here with you. DFS wise, who's a top guy you like, and who's one of the bottom guys that you like for value?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'm trying to figure out which guy. I think I've moved on to Daniel Berger a lot more. He came out and said that he's 100% healthy. Really likes playing this course. He's from around the area. He had a really good finish at the Century Tour of Century TOC. Really good finish to last year. He had 3 top 11s, I think, down the stretch there. 11th at the Tour Championship. Did miss the cut at the Phoenix Open, and he had that back injury kind of. But he said over the last 5 to 6 days, he really feels 100%. So I'm going to be going right back to Berger here. I think he's underpriced for the field strength here. Ranks first in ball striking, tee to green, approach, third in good drives. It just ranks at the top of all these stats. And 10-4 is too cheap of a price tag, I feel, for him. So I'm going to be on Berger there. And I'm going to jump down to the 6K guys. I really didn't have too much conviction on the 6K guy outside of Mark Hubbard on the show last night, but I've dug in more today, and I really like Satoshi Kodaira. He's 6.6K over on DraftKings. Good bogey avoidance, 33rd and 12th in his last 2 starts. He finished 12th at the Sony Open, which is a corollary course to this, so I really like that for him. I just think Kodaira's the cheap guy I'm going to roll with here. There's a lot of variance in this event, and so I'm going to roll with my guy Kodaira under 7K.
I was going to ask, how do you? Oh, Satoshi. I see him now. Okay,
yeah.
got it. All right, Mangone. This is normally the part of the show where you just rattle off names. So you have the floor.
You hate to see it, but I think I might say less names than Snyder. I mean, I'm giving you 2. I came prepared just to give 2 here. I think I liked Snyder's take on like maybe making some pivots at the top. I am currently not making pivots at the top. I'm grabbing Sung J M. If you look at all those stats, right, the guys that are great in Florida, like Sung J M, he's like the Tiger Woods of Florida. I mean, he's got stats that are just basically like the same, or very similar to the stats that he has put up in the past. So I'm just grabbing Sung J at the top. Again, I know it's not making a hot take here. I'm not saying anything that's crazy. I'm basically saying, yeah, Tom Brady, he's the best quarterback in the league, right, Dunkel, or was the best quarterback in the league. Sung J M, he's technically the best guy in this field right now. When it comes to the betting odds, I'm grabbing him in DFS. I just think it makes a lot of sense. And I like the way my builds kind of end up. And the guy that I like the most as like a value on this slate, I think is Denny McCarthy at 7.8K. He is probably my favorite guy in that range. One thing that I've been looking at a lot this week is I want to make sure I'm getting like good around the green guys. And that's one thing I think he's pretty good at. And then on top of it, I also like, making sure you're a good putter as well. Because if you are going to win, you do need to putt well. And I think this is a really tough course. And he's a grinder. And he's one of those guys too, like that I think throughout the past year or so, he's clearly became a better golfer. And I think we like to bet on these guys that like when they go from the fall swing into like this, the real like start to the year where like we start really grinding the PGA and seeing all these like really tough events. These are the guys you want to like ride out. And I think he's one of those guys I want to get on. So Denny and Sung Jae are like 2 of my building blocks in DFS right
now. That was McCarthy.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay. So awesome. Mangone, we'll stick with you. Based on odds, or maybe, just in general, I know you're high on Sanjay. So who do you think wins? Is it going to be Sanjay at the top? No issue with Chalk. Look, if Chalk wins, it wins. I mean, that's what this comes down to. Do you like the value on him to win this, or do you have other things in mind for who wins this tournament?
No, I mean, I struggle to bet the number he's at. Like he's 10-1 on DK. He's 13-1 on FanDuel. Like I just struggle to bet that number on Sungjae here. I think he's a better candidate to look for like those T20s, the T10s, probably in that range. Not that he can't win the event, but I think there's better, longer shots you can go to. And this isn't a long shot, but this is a guy that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Alex Noren at 31-1 on FanDuel. Sure, you can shop that thing around and find better, but Alex Noren's been playing really good golf. It feels like in DFS at like 9.3, an expensive tag. Also, it feels weird taking Alex Noren at 31-1, but this is not the best field. It does feel like a better field to build a deeper card. That way you have more shots. It's a very volatile event. Like one hole can just absolutely destroy you. So I do like living in that 20 to 40-1 range. I always talk about that. And in that range, I think that he is probably my favorite option there. And he's just had such great form. And I think he's able to he's got good iron play, which, at times when around the green matters too, which his around the green game has been better. He's been putting really well. If you've been watching that, like I think all around his game right now is really strong. So I'm on Noren as my favorite, outright for a value perspective.
Love it. I mean, definitely not going chalk at the top. You get a ton of guys in front of him. He's even 35-1 on DK. So yeah, like it. Snyder, that's a tough act to follow. Who do you think wins the tournament? Oh no, we haven't had this happen in weeks, Snyder. I don't think he realized. Snyder, you're muted.
It's a tough scene for old Snyder.
That's a rough scene. Yeah. Click that.
It's all good though. But Snyder, who do you think wins this tournament?
I'm gonna go with a guy down the board a little bit that I think's gonna win. I mean, we've seen some long shots win here. I'm gonna go with my guy Taylor Moore. He's off the Korn Ferry Tour. He's my flag plant off the Korn Ferry Tour last year. I think this is a spot where he can get a W at. He's finished 21st last week at the Genesis in that really tough field, 16th at Pebble Beach. ranks top 10 in strokes gained, par fours, bogey avoidance, and off the tee. I think this is a good spot for Mr. Moore to break through here at 50-1 odds.
We officially have a first time ever on this show, and Snyder had a tough act to follow, and I felt he did good. First time ever, Mangone, an individual, when asked who wins the tournament, chooses one of the long shot outrights at odds to win the tournament. 50-1 is our long shot. So, Snyder, I'm going to stay with you here. Are you want to double up here in terms of long shot outrights? Because 50-1 falls under that perspective. Who's at value longest shot outright to win this tournament?
I'll go to another guy at 50-1 odds and another young gun that I like. I like Cameron Young here. I think he's just playing elite form. He's coming in great. He's been great off the tee. Past 2 events, he's gaining nearly 2 strokes on average over his last 20 events. The irons have been on for him. Last week they were good. The putter's been there too. He's gained strokes putting in 5 of 6 events. Pretty big price increase for him on the DFS side, but I think the 50-1 odds are really good for him. He's coming off a second last week in that very strong field, a 26th, a 20th, and a 40th in his last 4 starts this year. So I think Cameron Young, another guy at that 50-1 odds, I think one of these kind of guys down the board could win this event very easily this year.
Love it. Love it. Sticking with 2 50-1s. Mangone, back to you for a long shot that you think holds some value here that could win it. What do you think?
Yeah, we're going pretty deep on this one. A guy who, you haven't heard his name in a while. He's won a major before, which is good. Snyder, does that give it away? It's a deep one that's won a major, Snyder. Can you guess this one?
Let me look.
We're over 100 to 1, basically. It's over that number.
Stuart Sink?
No, that's a good guess, though. I don't mind.
I don't know if he's won a major or not, but
no, I don't think he's won a major, though. It's Danny Willett, man. I'm going to Danny Willett. I think at
200 to 1.
What?
Big T's got him on his sheet at 200 to 1 on DraftKings.
Well, there you go. Grab him on that. I'm looking at FanDuel right now, so I didn't want to log out of my DK, but DK could have better lines too. DK had one really weird line. I should call this one out. I don't know if you saw this, Snyder. Let me pull it up on my phone.
Seifert?
Yes, Seifert. Why is he 50-1? What is going let me look what he's on FanDuel. I talk about the price shopping, right? So Seifert on DK is 50-1. FanDuel, he is 160-1.
And he was a late add too. He didn't get added to this field until I think like late Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah, that one blew my mind when I was looking at everything. But I do like Danny Willett. Definitely a guy that I'm going to be on. I think at his price, it's too deep. He's been playing a little bit better on the Euro Tour. He's good around the green. I'm trying to look for good around the green guys. I've heard some quotes from the golfers. They've been talking like you need to be good around the green here. It's just simple. Like you have to be able to save yourself at times. So I definitely think Danny Willett is a good long shot that I'm taking a chance on here.
Love it. Love it. Shorts. Look at us just kind of blasting through this show. So Andrew Pearson. So AP brings up Gary Waterland. And it goes without saying, I feel like we talk about him in every one of these tournaments. I want to be clear. I don't hate the guy. I just the bit of DFS I was playing of golf a year ago, and I say bit, I mean it was recent, risking a decent amount of money. He was automatic. If it had water, you fade Gary Waterland. Has that changed since Mangone, Snyder? Anything?
We can talk about his course history here. I mean, his course history, T8 in 2020. He didn't play in 2021. 2019, T36, then T49, and T2 in the old 2017. So, I mean, Gary finds a way to get it done somehow here. So I've definitely thought about clicking his name. Like if I was MMEing, I think I'd be getting some exposure to him. I think I'm only going to run one lineup out there though. So I don't know if I'm going to get to Mr. Gary Waterland. I'm curious to hear what Snyder says on it though, because he's one of those guys. Like you look at the name and the price. Like Lee Westwood is one of those 7-6. Like last year he was like 10-6 at this field. Where like Gary Waterland, you can make an argument he could be up there in price, and you would still consider paying it with the way this field is, right, Snyder?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get the Waterland. He's missed, I think, 4 of his last 5 cuts. He's priced up a little bit too much, even in this watered down field. I don't think I'm going to be getting to Waterland. I think he will find the water quite often here, and I can't remember what tournament that was last year. It was towards the end of the season. He was like right close in contention, like early in the 4th round. I think he found the water like 3 times on that day, and it was pretty funny to watch him kind of collapse there.
Appreciate the breakdown, guys. On my guy, Mr. Woodland. All right, so let's slide over to T20s. Mangone, I'll start with you here. Are you going to stick with some of the guys you've already mentioned for T20s, or do you like anything else in there? I know we don't often talk on the T40s, but maybe we change things up a bit if there's a T40 you like versus a T20, just to provide a little extra perspective. But you've mentioned some pretty key names here, some decent long shots as well, even like Alex Noren, T20. What's your thoughts there, Mango?
Yeah, I definitely don't hate him as the T20. A guy I'm going to go to. I'm going back to Denny, but I'm not going to the restaurant Denny's, Dunkel. Who goes to Denny's? I'm going to Denny McCarthy. Like, he's the man. He's my guy this week. I like him a lot. He's someone that I was considering all week, and then I kind of like looked deeper and deeper at him. I was like tonight before the show, I was like, I need to do a deep dive on him, and he's just good at putting on this surface, good around the green, just fits a lot of the boxes that I want. So I really like his floor at that price tag, and I think he has a nice ceiling. He just fits so many different things that I look for in the golfers at this time of year, and I just want to ride him out. So plus 230 over on FanDuel. We'll go with Denny McCarthy as my top 20.
Love it. Okay. Snyder, how about you for a T20? You going to stick with some of the names you've been mentioned, like Mangone did, or you got a new guy you like to T20 based on the odds?
I'm going to go down the board a little bit and find a value guy here for T20. This guy is going to be plus 380 to finish top 20. Has made his last 4 cuts. Finished 7th at the Sony Open, which is that corollary comp course I'm kind of looking. Had a 22nd at Bermuda last year. I'm going to go with Adam Svensson here. He's a low 7K guys on the DFS streets. I like him this week for top 20 at pretty good odds, I feel.
Now, what did you get him? So I see him here 5-1. What odds do you have, Snyder?
For top 20? I guess I didn't check FanDuel it was either FanDuel or DraftKings. I got plus 380.
Yeah, so it looks like DK for him to T20 is plus 500. So yeah, definitely better.
That's kind of rare finding a better T20 odds on DraftKings, but love to see it.
And in relation to matchups, I'll stick with you here. Is there a matchup you want to exploit this week, or an individual you want to heavily target in matchups, or even a specific matchup you like based on either DK or FanDuel?
Yeah, I'm going to go with I don't usually like to lay this much juice, but I think Shane Lowry versus Matthew Wolff is just too good of a spot here. Lowry's got pretty good form here. He's been playing pretty good overseas too. He's minus 140 versus Wolff, and then he's also minus 146 against Keith Mitchell. A couple of those guys up there. I think he's just too good of a DK play and a matchup spot here. I think Matthew Wolff's the guy that I don't like on this course. I think he's going to hit too many foul balls, which is going to lead to him taking a lot of drops this weekend.
Awesome. Quick question, and this would be more towards you, Snyder. Your guy Svensson, like that. It almost sounds like I have an accent when I say it. Svensson. Top Canadian plus 450. You like?
Yeah, I think that's completely fine. Let me see who else is. I'd have to look to see who else is in that Canadian.
Yeah, let me see. I might be able to pull this up.
So. I got it right here. Mackenzie Hughes. I do kind of like Mackenzie Hughes. Nick Taylor's a guy that Hoop likes. He's very consistent, but I think Adam Svensson could definitely beat all these Canadians in the field. Taylor Pendress, another guy that's solid. He's a young gun. Mac Hughes does play these difficult tracks pretty well. So, I mean, that would be the only guy I would really worry about Svensson going up against, but I think plus 450 is pretty solid.
Awesome. Mangone, over to you. A favorite matchup, guy individually you like, or a certain matchup you want to exploit?
Yeah, I do like, we haven't talked too much about Mac Hughes, but I do like the Mac Hughes call. He definitely grinds out these like really hard courses pretty well. I'm going to go with, and it's uncomfortable. We're fading the guy at the top. I'm fading Louis Oosthuizen. I like my boy Louis, but at this event, like, he's a golfer that he's got a really good all-around game, and he's good around the green typically, but he has lost strokes around the green at this course every time he's played there. So, like, that's just really, like, alarming to me. I just don't think I need to go to him. There's a couple bets that you can make, and I found 2 that I'm perfectly fine with. Daniel Berger at the minus 110. He's a guy that Snyder likes. You can easily jump on him. He's obviously played here, Florida guy too. And then another Florida guy that you can get at plus 102 on the FanDuel book is Billy Ho. Billy Ho, another Florida guy, crushes here. Bermuda Billy. Like this is a spot where I just think you got to go to these guys. So I'm definitely in on Billy Ho and Daniel Berger over a Louis Oosthuizen.
Love it. Love it. So, guys, 20 minutes. Look at us. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I do have like a first round leader I may add here, just since we got some extra time here.
Fire away.
I might go with Billy Horschel. He's got an early tee time. I always like to target the early tee time guys for first round leader bets. They've got the better conditions. Of course, plays a little softer. Billy Horschel's actually went 67, 63, 65 in his last first rounds. Gets the early time slot. This is a home game for him, so I really like Horschel to come out strong in round one.
See 28-1. Is that the best number you've seen, Snyder?
Yeah, I think that was the best I've seen on DraftKings.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. And then any final notes on the course? Maybe an approach for DFS, could be a target for bets, live bets, or even just some notes on the course. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a fun event. I mean, don't get too tilted after 4 holes in on Thursday if your guy finds the water a few times off the tee. I mean, this is going to be a tough course. I'm looking for the winning score to probably be somewhere around -7 to -9. The cut's probably going to be at around +3, I think. So if your guys get off to a rough start early, don't start tilting. I mean, it's going to be a long 2 days. The cut will be made then. And, I mean, there's going to be a lot of turnover here, I think, as the tournament goes. But it's a fun event to MME this week, I think. I'm not going to play any cash or as much volume as I usually do, but I'm going to get into the MME streets, play that $5 GPP, get my player pool set to probably right around 30 to 35 guys and just let it roll.
Mangone, what's your take on Snyder dropping his dick on the table in MMEs this week? I'm kind of hyped. I'm kind of hyped for it. Are you kind of taking the same approach, Mangone, or do you have a little? Are you still sticking? You're a cash game guy, so are you kind of sticking with those guns, or do you like Snyder see some value in going MME?
No, I mean I'm only MMEing too, and listen, Snyder, just don't do that at big T's, please. I don't want to see that. I don't want to get into measuring contest with that haircut you got. So, yeah, I think overall, I'm excited to see how Snyder gets the job done there. Don't eat too much chalk, right? This is a good week again. Things are gonna blow up, and if you're in the chat tilting on a Thursday about it, man, dude, your guy better be 20 over. Your golfer, what can happen on Sunday is you can have a guy that's T50 and he shoots maybe a 2 or 3 under. And it just vaults you to the top because so many guys are just hitting in so many water balls. And what's going to matter is your finishing position is going to be really, really key here. So find those guys that grind it out. I didn't talk about Ian Poulter, but that's another guy I really like. That's a grinder. Some of these Euros, they like these events where you just really kind of dive in and, it's just not a birdie fest. So those Euro guys love to play in those kind of conditions. So targeting those guys is not bad either. So that's definitely the approach that I'm taking. And I'm excited for this week. I kind of like my approach and I feel good about it.
Awesome. And I guess to kind of end on a high note, what's everything going on the Run Pure DFS end? I mean, obviously the folks that watch these shows know kind of notes on the bets end. What's going on this weekend? You got NBA starting back up tomorrow. And then what do you guys got this weekend coming up?
Yep, NBA's back, so we got that. I'm pulling up the calendar just to make sure. I know we got the SaberSim office hours tomorrow, so be sure to check that out. If you haven't checked out SaberSim, this is a great time to look at it and figure out, hey, is an optimizer good for me when I build my lineups? We got the are we having the showdown back, Snyder? Is that correct?
Yeah, I was gonna kind of hit on that. We started that last week, how we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, round 2, 3, 4 showdown shows. And we're going to run that back again this week, but it's gonna be for members only this week. We had a lot of great feedback. It went really well. So we're gonna run that back this week. Definitely going to keep it members only though. So if you want to get that content, I don't think there's anyone else in the industry pushing showdown content kind of like we do. So we've got a lot of guys in on our showdown content now, and we're going to be bringing shows for those 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, somewhere, I would say within an hour to 2 of the round being complete. We should have that showdown show going live on the website. So looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a great addition to our PGA content going forward. And yeah, I'm excited about that.
Love it. So other than that, on our end, I'll have a freebie in college free tomorrow night for Friday. And then I'll be back on Saturday with a live show, Sunday live show. So a nice busy week for us here. And of course, Spread and Tyler will be back with NBA Rundown starting tomorrow. Keg will continue to have the live show. So yeah, content all around on our end. Nice to see the DFS crew just absolutely smashing on their end as well. As always, folks, be sure to gamble responsibly. Stay safe. And look, run pure. We'll catch you guys next week. Oh, quick shout out, Uncle T. Got it in there. See that, guys? Later, everybody.